Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you?
Howdy.
Hey, Carrie. How you doing? Friday night. I know our nights are all mixed up here. Hello, Teresa. Kathy, how's it going? Luann. Hello, Nikki. Nancy. Linda, how's everyone doing? Susan. I know we're all Anna. Deb. What's up, Deb? Michelle. Laura, how's it going? Yeah, I know. We're kind of like we were getting a pattern there going for a little while. Hey, Christopher, where we were on regular kind of schedule, and then we just kind of
Things kind
we don't have regular. We're
of
not
gotten
regular
up
people.
sideways a little bit there.
Okay, Dorothy, Joseph, how's it going? So, what's going on? We were at the Creeper Gallery Wednesday. That was another thing why I'm thrown off. We did that Wednesday. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. All right, Brendan.
Yay.
Um, we're at the Creeper Gallery Wednesday instead of Tuesday, which totally threw me off. And we were looking for, again, objects that we were going to do. And that giant cross was like staring us right. Hey, Kathy. Karen, Naomi was staring us right in the face there. It's literally when you walk in the red room, it's just there, you know?
It's huge.
And I'm like, not today. I don't know. Me and religious things, artifacts, I don't know what it is, man. But sometimes I do okay with them. Other times I'm more intimidated by the religious stuff than I am.
Why?
I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know.
You'd think that it would be.
It's a superstitious thing that I have.
You do, because I still remember going into that church in New York and how you were totally wigged out over that.
Yeah, it's a weird superstitious thing that I have. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. It just is.
Even
Every
with your,
cross I've
even
ever
with
owned.
your aura, huh?
Well, that's different. That's not. That's the old gods and the new gods.
Oh,
They're giving me that.
I didn't realize our gods changed.
Yes, they have. You need to watch some TV. Hillbilly stuff that you watch. Hey, John.
Stuff.
Trisha, how you doing?
Lord.
So, I remember again. My everything's a blur with me when it comes to different objects and different things we investigate. I'm trying to even go through the list in my head of what we did.
The doll, the hat, and then the
Hey, Travis.
Lassie.
The doll, the hat.
Lassie, the dog.
I just want you to say it again. Yes, the doll was pretty cool because it was part of another sort of bigger collection. We didn't know that.
And it told you, kept saying up and.
Yeah, and whoever that was wanted us to know. I thought it was really, really interesting that yeah, it is John McGinnis. It's always here in this house. Trust me, you don't know the half of it. But it was interesting in that the wife had passed, and the husband obviously had all of her belongings, and that one particular doll creeped him out, and he was like, "Take them all," which is I think I would do that too. I really do. Doll, I hear you. Back off. Yeah, that was
wanted us to back off.
That was all there. So that was pretty interesting, and then the hat. The hat was really a beautiful hat. Again, I don't think the camera quite did it justice.
No.
When you hold the hat, it's kind of heavy, and it's got that cool like velour.
It was made very professional.
It's kind of like a velour like texture. I don't know what they call that. Is that cowhide? Is that more?
It kind of felt more like a type of hide than what. I mean, it was definitely a very well made, expensive.
Patricia does the recap for everyone that we mentioned. Can't wait to see you at. Brendan, would you switch accounts there? The hat. Patricia says, what was that again? I didn't read it.
Oh, what it said.
I want you to go. There's 4.
Yep.
I have a great show and I like watching and learning too. Thank you, Miss J. Appreciate that. I saw Donna's reel on the hat. It was very handsome. Yeah, the hat, again, the video didn't do it justice. The pictures don't do. When you're holding it, it's great shape for a hat that age. And I do remember that there's 4, and then we learned that there were 4
children.
And I think that wasn't that the one with the pictures of
Yeah.
and I remember the spirit box said,
His
I
name
asked
was
how
John.
old.
Sorry.
And away we go. Please try to anticipate what I'm going to say now. The cat went into the building and
kicked your ass.
There you go. Alaska escapes. Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard. I wouldn't mind going to Alaska, right?
Me either.
But hey, Chris. But yeah, that was the picture where I asked how old he was in the picture, and he said 19. That I remember.
That was pretty
on
amazing.
The spirit box, I believe, right?
Yes.
And that was pretty cool. And then
very clear.
The dog, the Lassie dog, which was
that one was hard.
Kind of sad. You know, it's always kind of sad when you. Donna's had a few of those over the years where it's a child who like drowned in a hurricane,
some tragedy, earthquake.
Yeah, definitely. The one girl was on roller skates and she was shot or something. Can't wait till July 2nd, 22nd. I'm not even sure what that is, Travis. Is that Liberty Hall again? Hi from Brooklyn. Oh, AB's from Brooklyn, not far. So that was kind of tough. Whenever you have a child in a tragedy, the only thing you could hope for is that A, that they'll trust you, and B, that they'll engage and interact and kind of mess with the stuff that we have there, which she seemed to do.
Oh, she told you to stay in the chair.
Yeah, I couldn't get up out of the chair. That was pretty cool.
That was.
And again, that was kind of like in the moment, real time.
And that would fear, and that's the funny thing about that. If something happens in your fear and you're normally shy or withdrawn, fear will make you burst out with something like, stay, like a child. You could see that a child saying stay or chair or like, because I said you wouldn't move and you would stay there and that you were my safety and you always made me feel safe. And you were like, and then she just, chair came right out. And I was just like, wow.
And what was cool going back to the first one, before we hit the live button, the SLS camera had a big figure, man. That figure was big. It wasn't like a small figure or anything. First, it was standing on the side of the doll, and then it was standing in front of the doll. It was as tall as me, easy. And then that's when the SLS went dead. It kind of drained the power from that first.
But here's the funny thing about that. Do you think it was whoever was connected to that doll reaching up trying to take the two that was down from above that we didn't realize?
Oh yeah, they may have been standing up there and been like, hey,
because it was
those two?
It was where it was standing and the pose that it was doing was like this, like you're reaching up to grab.
They may have been standing there going, hey.
And we were
totally. Why not those two?
This is for the full picture of John and I thought this was a standalone doll. This doll, and it's the doll that's haunted. The other two are just, I guess, part of the collection.
That's the one that gave him the creepy feel.
Right. So here, this doll is on the other side of the room in a case, and then there's just these dolls up above where we are. We had no idea that they were tied in, but yet the spirit let us know out of the gate, up and and then Donna revealed, well, right up above where she is, the other two dolls that go to that collection.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely, like I said, I lean more towards the stuff that knocks me on my butt and affects me that way. And,
I don't care for those.
So when we do I hate to say it, but like regular stuff where it's just a guy and his hat. I mean, I am interested. I am engaged. I am willing to see how far the communication interaction is going to go. And he did. But, to me, that's like,
What you want? So what you're saying is that the everyday spirit is...
No, I still engage. I still go through the process the same every time. And sometimes I'm taken back and I enjoy the interaction.
But you don't think it's a little bit sadistic on your part to be drawn and really rather work with the darker stuff?
Man, ABCs and me. I don't know what to tell you.
We are so opposite.
I am so intrigued at the not only the interaction with words and equipment, and I am also very intrigued with the interaction of how the effect on me. That I've become more and more uh, fascinated about as I get older. And the longer I do this, because there have been years and years and years where it's so rare to walk into a place and feel something weird or like an off feeling, or and then as I've gotten older and I've done this more and more and more, I am sort of more in tune, but not I won't call myself an empath, intuitive, or any of that
You're
stuff.
just more open than you were
But
before.
the dark stuff, some of it, man, is like boom. It's like there. It's not only just you have to wait for them to engage; they're engaging,
and that's
right
exhilarating
off the
for
bat.
you. You like that.
I
You live for
enjoy
that.
the experience, not of course some of the things that happen, but I enjoy as a researcher
So,
and someone who wants to do more and experience
but why
more,
aren't you intimidated by that even just a bit?
because it's never, I don't know, it comes and it goes.
You don't believe that it can go
I
any
wouldn't take
further,
one of those things home.
but you don't think it could go any further than what it's gone so far.
Could are different. Bring it on. See, Deb agrees with me.
Well, you two haven't gone through what
No,
I've gone through.
I mean, again, I wouldn't take the things home. I wouldn't live with them. It's different. My exposure is limited to 30 to 40
Okay.
minutes.
Let me ask it. Let me put it this way. If you investigate something that, all right, forget theories, past experiences, whatever, this thing, for whatever reason, stays with you, comes home for a better word,
Good
because
luck with that, Patricia.
because I don't really buy into that. I believe that if something is drawn to you, it can torment you and whatever, for whatever reason. So if something torments you nightly, you're trying to sleep and it torments you, and it does horrific things that terrify you.
You talking about your snoring? I thought, why are we bringing that up?
I'm being serious. You're going to tell me that that wouldn't change your optics?
But that's not
I'm
what we're
not talking about a horror movie. I'm not talking
But that's
about
not what we're talking
Hollywood.
about here.
But I am. I'm asking you.
I'm telling you,
You feel that there's a window of this that happens and it goes no further. But what if the further you delve into it and you hit upon something that it actually goes way further than what your expectation or your understanding?
Hasn't happened in 25 years. So
and you're very fortunate.
When
it's
it
happened
happens,
to me.
when it happens, I'll let you know.
Well, it's happened to me.
It happened to me. So you're asking me, and I'm telling you.
That makes me worry.
Don't make me worry. So
well, what it does, it's kind of like somebody keeps jumping off of a ledge. It's like jumping into the water because they don't hit rock bottom.
It's like if we're in like a giant aquarium, right?
Oh, yeah.
And someone drops me in one end of the aquarium, right? And here I am into the water. The sharks are way over there, and they can sense the splashing or whatever, and now they're moving towards me. I wait till I see them and get up and out of the pool. That's what I'm talking.
And what if you can't get out of the pool?
I've gotten out of the pool every time so far. So I base it on that.
So far. And that is what you're basing. But I know that there's more. And that's what worries me. You're not afraid of opening that door that far where there's no coming back.
Look, there's a monument of me.
And oh, mugs, God help me.
And there's t-shirts.
You see, I can't have a serious discussion with this guy. He doesn't want to talk about this logically. He wants to joke about it.
Of the paranormal.
But John,
I'm bulletproof.
Yeah, you're not bulletproof. There isn't a soul out there. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm saying the possibility does exist. And I wish that you had just a little.
The possibility exists if I were to get in my car tomorrow.
We're not talking about that. I could be in a
horrible accident.
We're not talking about that.
And I could be mangled or dead.
But that's something.
Yeah, I get in my car every day and I drive it.
But we're not. But you're in control.
No, I'm not. What I'm doing, I can only protect myself. But other cars may come and take me out.
But you're not in control with something that you can't see. That's not tangible. That's not that you don't have defenses against. That's what I'm saying.
Like John McGinnis gets it.
Oh my God. You're not helping me, John.
Let's just agree that I'm
trying
right.
to make a point.
Let's just agree that I'm right.
I won't.
And move on to
you can't be right because you're clueless.
Let's just agree on that.
You're clueless.
Let's agree on that.
I'm not going to agree.
Just agree.
I'm literally.
And then we'll move on.
Okay, stop. I'm really trying to say that with the experience that I've had and what I've gone through, I know what my truth is. I know what I experienced. And I know where I had to come back from. I almost lost my life over it. And there is a bumper on you, is there a safety valve that if it goes too far, are you prepared?
No.
That's what I'm afraid of. That scares me.
Cindy's right.
What? He's not, and he never does.
Think about doing some sort of attention before you know.
You're talking about intention?
No, I don't. I don't do any of that, and I would never do any of that because
he wants to be open.
You're closing yourself off to whatever the experience is going to be, and if you're trying to help someone, you're closing yourself off to whatever they might be experiencing in their home because you're walking in with some sort of intention or protection or whatever, and that doesn't serve anyone as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But that's my opinion. She's not right. Please don't tell her she's right. Say, Deb is with me. Deb is with me.
But listen, I have nothing against anyone that's willing, like again, who's willing to jump into the end but I honestly don't believe you really know what's out there.
No,
I really don't.
I don't know what's out there.
I don't, not to the severity. But you don't believe in demons. You don't believe in angels. So maybe
they're out there.
Maybe there's a safety in that because I was always raised to believe that if you go through the jungle looking for the tigers and the lions, they get you. If you go through the jungle unaware, you usually come out unscathed. So maybe there's truth to that.
There's a quote from a poet. Welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and games. We've got everything you want, and we know their names.
Do you got a dart gun for me?
That's should read up on that. Anyway, ask Jane Doherty. Well, again, I don't agree with everything Jane says either, but
I do, Vicky. I do follow. I do go. I don't have anything against. This is just me kind of like trying to get like opening him up to the idea maybe that things can be dangerous.
Ask who's been affected more.
I have, unfortunately. No, you've been affected in different ways, just as much. But I've been affected very adversely, and I do try to protect myself.
Anyway,
what?
Let's switch gears here because she's.
Because he's just not.
And there's not even any coffee. This is surprising me as well because usually the coffee.
No, I'm trying to actually have a really honest. You just want to joke about it, so.
Are on the side of caution. We've seen you be affected during dinner.
Yeah,
and
for good reason.
And I bounce back in and I go right back in the next week.
That's Armand.
Anyway, so I want to get into a little bit of the September, October events that we're doing. I think September 2nd was Centenary University. That's sold out. September 9th, I don't know what that is, but I think that's sold out. I think that might be the Inskeep, maybe. And after that is the Sterling Hill Mine, September 16th, which still has about a quarter of the tickets available. And then is the one I just announced, which is the Caldwell Parsonage. Inskeep is sold out. Caldwell Parsonage. Now, I want to talk a little about the Caldwell Parsonage. Inskeep, right. Yeah. We're probably going to be doing a live stream investigation from there. I'm considering next week, but I don't know. It's always tough to do investigations there in July. But we are going to do a live stream where we're just there for a couple of hours, and we do that I think every year. We go there because we do it live as well, and we usually do it before the event that we do, so you guys can get an idea of the Caldwell Parsonage, the whole story, and everything. But I have something in the meantime that I could show you about the Caldwell Parsonage. There are some clips from things that we've done, not a whole lot. That I'm going to show you. The first one is back in the old days when we used to do events, we would lug a TV with us, a TV stand with us.
We worked even harder.
We would show an intro for the event, which was like video of the building with some creepy music. And we would also show clips from previous investigations, evidence that we caught. And we would, you know, that's how we would start every event. So this intro is one of the ones that we did for the parsonage, and I like it because I would make all this stuff. And is this it right here? So I'm gonna play this for you first. I hope this is it. All right, so this is just, again, it's an overview. Hannah Caldwell in 1780 was killed by British soldiers, and David is David, the director. I'm going to have a clip of him talking about that. So here's just the intro that I used to play. So that's the video that we would play before every event that we did there, and it's just kind of, a lot of people, know the story in Jersey anyway, or around there. Again, Hannah was there with her children. Some of her children, some of the other children were away. Her husband was the Reverend James Caldwell. He was very outspoken against the English, the British, and this was during, of course, the Revolutionary War. And David tells it better than I do, and this is a quick 42-second clip. There are words you have to read in the beginning, but you'll see kind of a summary of.
And that picture of that woman is Hannah Caldwell.
Yeah, the whole story here.
Hannah and the children were here in June of 1780 when Hannah was killed standing at the window. British soldiers thought she was a sniper, shot her, and she died right here. British soldiers came in, dragged her out to the street. It was the next day that James Caldwell came and was outraged by her death.
So James was away with the troops, the colonial troops, and he wasn't home. He had warned Hannah to that the British soldiers were in the area and that they were burning and looting, and that she probably shouldn't stay there. And she was like, I'm a lady of the house. They're not going to bother me. Just go. Don't worry about it. Turns out they were in the area. They were burning farms and doing all the other stuff. And her child was near the window. She knew that the British soldiers were in the area. She went to move the child out of the way. A British soldier thought it was a sniper and turned and shot her through the window. And if that wasn't bad enough, they went into the building. Again, she's dead in front of her children. They dragged her body outside, went back in the house, looted, stole everything they could, and then burned the house down in front of the nursemaid and the children that were there. Now, the house was burned to the ground. A year later, her husband James, Reverend James Caldwell, was killed under suspicious circumstances as well. And then they rebuilt the house on the exact same spot and added another level to it.
Has the original foundation and the original basement of the home.
So we started going there probably 10 years ago. And we've done many, many, many investigations there. And we've interacted with who we thought is Hannah, James, even the children at different times. Now, the last time we did a live stream, we came across someone who said they were a poltergeist and they were saying some different things that we weren't used to. And this is what I go back to tell people all the time. And a lot of these old historic buildings, they bring in, people donate artifacts from a certain period of time from when the building was there. It just happened to us at the Peachfield.
Yep.
And some of these objects have different attachments that aren't related to the building or the people who lived in them. We think that last time we came into contact with someone who was brought in, which again is different, interesting, but that person we never encountered before.
No, that was the first
somebody
time.
Totally different.
The other interesting thing about that house is that that's where all of the reverends of the church stayed. So even after the Codwells were gone, there was a Reverend Smith that came and stayed with his family. So there it was just a street. There just a continual changing of the guard, so to speak, of the different reverends that stayed in that home with their families. And we actually brought a witch in with us, and she could not go into one of the rooms because the second reverend of that home was completely against her being in there and completely prevented her from going in there, which we had never come across that before.
So that's again September 23rd. It's only a two sessions of 2 hours. It's $25 a person. We're limiting the amount of people who are in each 2-hour session. But again, I know the first session I think is completely sold out. I think there are tickets still for the second session. Not sure how many, but if you email NewJerseyParanormal@yahoo.com, I'll send you the link that you could use to pay for your tickets. It's only 2 hours, but it's a fun, jam-packed 2 hours for sure. I mean, in that 2 hours, we will go through the building to the carriage house across the way. And
carriage house is haunted too.
Yeah, that's haunted too. So if you're interested, it's in Union, New Jersey. All the proceeds go to the Caldwell Parsonage to support the building. Really, really cool place. And I'm going to show you 2 clips. Both are ovulists. Now, here's the thing. We talk about random things coming through the ovulus, the spirit box, all these different things that we sometimes try to shoehorn into where we are, the situation, what the person might be thinking or saying. This was probably the most incredible ovulus session I've ever had, because I told you, the British came in, they shot Hannah. They came in the building, they looted the building, they set it on fire, and that's what happened. Now the ovulus has 2,000 words in it. We're going through the building. This was an investigation I did alone in that building. Mm-hmm. I'm on the 2nd floor. The ovulus is on the 3rd floor, and I have a camera up there kind of filming things because I'd seen things come through the 2 rooms back there. And this is what I hear the ovulus say first.
British.
Wow, British. Whoa. That was my Keanu Reeves impression, by the way. Here's that clip again.
British.
Wow, British. Whoa. So that was number 1, where I was like, again, 2,000 words. What are the odds that I'm getting the word British in the building where that happened? I mean, come on. it wouldn't happen. If that weren't enough, this is what happened probably minutes, probably a few minutes afterwards. Remember what I told you? The whole story said British, and this is what the British did.
Brought fire.
Oh my God, they burned the house down. Oh my God. It said British when I was coming up the stairs, and now it says brought fire. Oh my God. Again, right in the beginning, I'll play it again. I know it's a little bit longer clip, but right in the beginning, it says brought fire.
Brought fire.
Oh my God, they burned the house down. Oh my God. It said British when I was coming up the stairs, and now it says brought fire. Oh my God. That was crazy. I also have Echo Vox session where I'm sitting on the floor during that alone investigation, and I said, "Do you know the story of Hannah? What happened to her?" It said her throat was cut, and I was like, "What happened there?" You know, and it was just like weird, like these weird coincidences and stuff. And they say that her clothing was ripped and stuff, and I was just like, but it was really I interacted with the obelisk. Also said Reverend again. How
James.
Yeah. So I mean, we had some really good interaction. And again, we were the first group to ever go in there and investigate that place after meeting with the director, David and Barbara, who are brothers and sisters, brother and sister. And they, again, people have seen things, they've heard things, we don't know. And then we heard the story about how Ghost Hunters was at Elizabeth Cemetery or something.
Courthouse, right?
Yeah, the courthouse. And that Hannah was supposedly seen at the courthouse. And we would always tell people, like, why would Hannah be there when that house, that land, was the very last place that her and her husband and her kids were all together before everything went.
And the 9 children were all split up after.
Yeah, before everything went. So why would she return to a courthouse where she visited every so often and not the home where she was happy with her children and her husband? So, no, there wasn't any, Cindy. There wasn't any of that.
What?
Nobody, right? There was nobody. No one said
No.
anything about that. But
No, there was none of that.
but it's definitely a cool place. People who live in Union don't even know it's there. When we do our events there, people will come and say, I drive by this building every day to work or whatever. I never knew it was here. So definitely living history. Sad story, but a true story.
Yeah.
Again, this is Hollywood movie type of stuff, but it really happened on that land. And if you believe, like Gettysburg, all those people died out there in those fields. And thousands and
go ahead.
Thousands and thousands. And people believe that those spirits are out there because how they passed. There's a stain on the land. Spirits are there. No difference between that and what happened in Union on that property.
Uniquely enough, her death is what caused the Minutemen, which were the farmers and stuff, to pick up their guns and to stop the British from advancing. And if you get a chance, they actually, I believe they do a reenactment once a year or every so many on an anniversary. And they actually, the road that they come up through, right up in Union right there, where they reenact the whole thing dressing, and it's literally right down the road from the house, because the church is right down the road from the house.
Yeah, it's literally around the corner. Not far at all. You could walk there really easy. But if you get a chance, like I said, that's one of the events that has some tickets left. Only 2 hours, but I love that place. We've known them for 10 years. We've been friends with them for the entire time. When we were talking about doing this, we were just like, you know what? Let's go back in there for a few hours and let's do it live. And that's what we're going to do. It might be next week. We'll figure it out. But definitely worth doing to see if they're
Who comes
willing,
through?
yeah, if the Caldwells are willing to communicate, or any of the reverends, or this other person who, um, when is the event? The event is September 16th. I'm sorry, September 22nd. Sorry, did I say the 23rd before? That's Liberty Hall.
Yeah, that's Liberty
It's
Hall.
a Friday. It's September 22nd. That's when it is. Friday, September. This one we had to squeeze in before the Liberty Hall event. So we're going to be in Union 2 weekends in a
good.
row.
And then we also have the psychic fair on the 23rd.
So it
September
is
23rd.
it is September 22nd, which is a Friday night. There's only tickets available for the 9:30 to 11:30 session. You have to email New Jersey Paranormal at yahoo.com. You have to spell out New Jersey Paranormal at yahoo.com. And I don't know how many are left. I'm waiting for Barbara to get back to me. But it's Friday night, September 22nd, from 9:30 to 11:30. And again, it only seems like a short window, but we'll get a lot done in those 2 hours. Trust me. The building itself isn't huge, which is why, again, we're able to move everyone through every part of it and try different experiments. So if you're interested, again, New Jersey Paranormal at yahoo.com. Those tickets probably won't be around for much longer than our live stream, I'm sure, because once we go in there and we show you, they usually
And
go.
the cool thing about the carriage house, because the original carriage house is there as well, they have antique collectible stuff in there from the farming, because that was all farmland there. All those houses that are
It
around
was
it now
Connecticut
weren't there.
Farms.
It was
The Union was
it was
Connecticut Farms.
all farmland as far
Yeah.
as the eye could see. I mean, that's what they lived on. And they actually have farming equipment. They've got like old antique TVs and radios. There's a lot of antique stuff that sits in the carriage house itself that is interesting in itself.
No creepy dolls, though.
That's in the house.
I gotta ask them to bring one of those in. But they really don't have any creepy dolls. We were watching the video before, though. It is the only place. Not true. It has happened again, but first place, I should say, where we did the it was the old, repeat this knock thing, 1, 2, 3, and literally right after I stopped knock 3, we heard right after that, and I have it on video. It's just first time that ever happened. It happened again at Camp Evans when I was in the bunker building. It happened a couple of times at Camp Evans, but I was going to mention the TV's great place. Yeah, I love those old TVs, Kathy. I know what you're talking about. That's why when she brought up the old things in the carriage house, I want one of those old TVs.
Old tube TVs.
I love the old TVs and the old radios. I just want them for decorative reasons because I love the way they look.
I wonder if they still have the old conveyor thing where they walked like the sheep or the dog on. I think it was what they walked the sheep on. It's up in there.
That's upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, September 22nd, if you want tickets, New Jersey Paranormal at yahoo.com. It's a Friday night. It's later. We're getting into the fall season, and that's a great time of the year to do these paranormal events because the air's
There's
little cold.
There's a feeling to that place too when it comes to the fall. That's why we like doing it around that time with that building particularly. There's something that happens. I don't know. It just changes. It's charged.
The air's a little cold. It gets dark earlier, and everything is a little creepier in the fall. I think. I love that time of year. Love it. Tomorrow night, we have. If you could see that side of the camera, you would see things plugged in everywhere, equipment all over the place.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, we're going to be back at Centenary University. That's the second event that we've done with you guys, with people joining us that aren't Girl Scouts. And first one was good. I've got a few different things that I want to try out tomorrow that we didn't do with the first group, and it should be different. We're using a couple of different areas. The chapel is really, really cool, creepy feeling in that place for sure. We've seen shadow figures in there. There's weird stuff that happens in that building. And it's one of those places where it's a riddle wrapped in a mystery, wrapped in a whatever. It's just like they never tell you who they are. That's the most frustrating thing about any investigation you do where you've been to a place multiple times, is that no matter how many times you've interacted and how many times you've been in a specific area, they'll talk to you, they'll tell you stuff here and there, they'll engage with this and that, but names, it's so weird how that, like, that would, if it were me and I'm the spirit, that'd be the first thing, that I would say if I could on EVP or on an obelisk or whatever. I'd be like, hey, me, it's me. I'm here. But there's really weird layers to that building. And we found out that, again, the little theater where I'm going to be is the oldest part of the building, besides the foundation, of course. There was a fire in the building. A lot of it burned. The only thing that didn't burn
was the theater,
the little theater.
And we didn't even know that.
So there's definitely somebody or bodies in that area.
We're probably about 3 hours maybe from Delaware.
I don't ever go that way, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, probably about 3.
But that's what we're doing tomorrow. And, I wish, we could live stream a little more before the events and after the events and that type of thing. But honestly, and it's not a bad thing, our focus is on the people who are there. I mean, that's the truth.
Yeah.
From the minute we arrive, which is 2 hours before anybody gets there, to the time we leave, which is usually 45 minutes, an hour after everybody's gone, our focus is on people are coming, what are we going to do? How are we going to organize things? And then the people are there. That's where the focus is.
Yeah.
Trying to give people an experience, getting them to see the building, and here's the thing that I've been doing lately, which again, as I get older, I get a little weirder, as far as, with my approach to the paranormal investigating, even with people, I have become more open to, again, how I feel during the whole thing, especially if we're traveling. We don't get to travel a lot during events, but if we're traveling through a building, I am much more, it's like I open the valve a little more, and I allow myself now to really, like, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? What am I feeling? Even when I'm with different groups and different people and they come into the space for the first time, I right away take the temperature of myself and what the room feels like.
So you're taking in more.
And I encourage everyone to do that when they do that, when they come on an event with us. I talk about that during the lecture in the beginning. I talk about the equipment and all the theories and blah, blah, blah. But I really do want people to really get in the mindset of, what is this piece of equipment us? How are we affected? What are we feeling? Because even that little bit of intuitiveness may be something.
And I don't think sometimes people realize that their experience or what's happening to them, they dismiss as just them being like, I don't feel good all of a sudden. Well, I'm just feeling off right now. They don't open themselves up to the possibility the site that they're at actually might be making them feel that way. Like you said, opening themselves up and being more aware.
You see how I wait for the break? When I know
you never stop.
When I know you're finished with the sentence,
you never stop.
Then I
I gotta get in when I feel strongly.
Just say that.
Me too.
If you notice that at all, maybe it's not. I'm really thinking of something you don't notice, but that's okay. But anyway, that is something that I really want to lean more towards the prepping yourself for an investigation, not just putting batteries in equipment, setting things up and trying different things. It's prepping yourself as
conduit.
As part of the one of the tools that we use for what we do. I really do, because that's really kind of what I'm doing more and more and more and more. I find it so interesting, and I talked about this before, how different groups' energies affect different areas. A normal event, we have like 4 groups, sometimes 5, and on our end, we get to see
Yeah.
what happens with
And we
every
talk
group.
about it.
And I'm a student of that. I in my head, I track from group 1 to group N, who within those groups, and I find it really, really interesting that, again, what is changing in the environment. A prime example of that is the Sterling Hill Mine. Last event we did, ebb and flow. There's an ebb and flow to every event. Some more ebbs, some more flow, some more peaks, valleys. You never know what's going to happen during any particular event with any people. But sometimes there's a pattern where the energy starts to fizzle, and that they're done. You know it. You feel it. You can stand on your head. You can try everything, but you're opening up the tap and there's nothing left.
And sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's somebody's mood, that where everything's going, and somebody's mood and the next group crashes the event. Like, we've had people come in that were in really bad moods for whatever reason was going on, or they were really angry about something, and it really just took the air right out of the balloon. And then we've had where people have come in and they've there was a group that was just energized, that just boom, turned up that volume and everything changed.
So that was, again, the Sterling Hill Mine. The example that I was talking about was that I thought I had hit that fizzle where the end of the night, it was getting late. I thought, okay, I got great stuff with the first whatever groups, and now I've hit that lull, and probably the last group is really going to be kind of dead, no pun intended. I see him. Hey, Bob. And the last group came in, and I believe it's people's energetic vibration that can escalate. And I believe that too, Trevor, and I've seen it because that last group, the people that were in it, it was like they charged the building, the area, not the whole, just one particular area, 2 different areas we were in. All of a sudden, it was like, whoa, why is this person now reacting to this group? Where, again, I thought the end of the night we were done, but no, they got, and one person in particular, it was a guy, me, I'm horrible with names.
Yeah.
I remember his name because he was the conduit, perfect word for it. His name was Nick. And I don't know, Nick, if you're watching or if you watch us, but man, oh man, whoever was there, Nick was the focus. And we're at a mining site. Could you think, in the realm of possibility, that this guy looked like someone's son? He was a younger guy. Maybe. Did he look like a partner that they worked in the mine with every day? They got on the skip together. They went down every day.
He was a super easygoing guy too.
Yeah, maybe too. But could have been someone that he didn't particularly care for. Yeah, maybe. This was again part of what I get to experience as I do this the whole entire night. And it was one of those where the night ended, it was late, it's midnight. We still have to make it to the diner so I can get my chocolate milk and my eggs. And
that's a horror story.
I really didn't want to stop at that point because I was wondering, again, in my head, and I'm sure everybody in that group was wondering, like, where does this go from here and why? It would be really interesting, again, for someone like Nick to stay in that building and
see what happens.
I bet you he would be chased out of there like everybody else. Because Doug's an older guy. You know Doug. Doug stays down there. Doug is one of the guys who was a miner that used to work there, and Doug's one of the guys who would stay in the basement.
Yeah.
They have a bedroom down there. And Doug was fine doing that for years, but now he got chased out.
Yeah, he won't stay down there no more.
Because they see a shadow figure, they heard
and
bangs.
these aren't scaredy cat guys. These are guys that worked in the mine. I mean, they're not afraid of their shadows. They just don't go there anymore. They're done.
But Doug is, from what I've talked to Doug a few times, Doug seems like an okay guy, but
Very rational.
but I didn't work with Doug. I don't hang out with Doug. So I don't know what that energy is like. You know,
Oh, you mean what triggers to chase them out?
I don't know. This is what I'm saying. Is that part of it? Don't know. But it is fascinating. So again, the mine is another one that we're going to be back September 16th, and I'll be in that area again probably. And again, I use that as building blocks. So now every time I go in there, the first time, again, I talked about this on the last live stream. He asked if he was dead,
Yeah.
and then he asked if he was a ghost.
That was strange.
It was kind of sad in a way, and everybody in that group felt it when he said that downstairs.
It's like he's coming to the realization of something they didn't face before.
Well, again, this is what I proposed to the group because I don't know. I'm just, hey Pam, I'm just kind of like, these are things that are in my head, and when I say these things, I don't know them to be factual because I can't. I'm not there with the person to speak to them and get those answers, but I got the feeling like whoever this was that was brought in, and I do think he was brought in by something that they brought into the office because they said they brought different things in, artifacts, whatever. I think they brought him in, and I think my theory is he's not happy with the living because he's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think for whatever reason he's there, whether he chooses to be or not. And I think he gets really frustrated that the living come and they go. In particular, Doug was someone who worked there, retired from there, unscathed. Yet something happened to him. That's why he chases him out. You know? It's just the feeling that I get. I don't know if I'm right.
Well, you work in that space enough where you start to build a rapport. You start to feel, just like in the area that I work, there is definitely 100%. I don't know if it's one, I don't know if it's several, but that intimidation factor sits there in that one spot. And I always know that they like to do that. They like it when I'm intimidated, when I'm in that space. They feed off of it. It's almost like somebody pulling a prank on you and teasing you and joking you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I scared you. You're intimidated. This is great. And the more that I can do that, the more I'm going to keep doing it, and the stronger I do it.
That's a good question, Trevor, about the mediums. We don't get a lot of mediums anymore. Like we used to get one or two, like for every event that we did. Not so much anymore. And we'll tell the people. Well, I flat out ask people in the beginning. Anybody here claim to have, and be an empath, medium, clairvoyant, any of that stuff? And if they raise their hand, I tell them, you're picking up on anything, you're feeling anything in a particular area. It does happen occasionally where those type of people, mine, different places, do say, I've been touched. I felt something brush by me. That did happen at the mine this last time.
Yeah.
So again, the mine's a different animal because women didn't work in the mine, So there's a multitude of different, things going on there when it comes to, the men who work there and how they react or don't react to females as it is.
No,
she got run up on.
They can get salty with the females.
Deb saw a shadow figure kind of run up on
Deb's
her.
had some interactions in the mine that's blown her away. I mean, they get salty. Oh my God. And poor Pam. Pam got called the B word.
Did she?
Yes.
Bananas?
No, it wasn't bananas. I don't think I'll ever forget that. So just literally on that EVP called her a B.
Yeah, I've heard worse than that. Kathy will attest to that. I mean, they were nice to Kathy, but other people they've said the B word, C word, and things like that. So again, we have two mediums on our team, and they go off on their own. It seems activity follows them. I mean, it's not crazy to believe that because again, we've done many interviews with mediums. The thing that struck me about mediums, and Judy Kay is a good friend of ours. Judy has been on here and done interviews. We did a show with Judy Kay about psychic kids, children who have psychic abilities. And it was really, really good. She did a great job. And one thing that she said, because you know me and my brain, the way I'm always like, why? And I said to Judy, if I'm a spirit, right, and I'm so desperate to enter the living realm and to connect with somebody, why in the world of all people would I approach a child? You know, even if I thought a child might be able to see me better than, why would I scare the crap out of some poor child and be like, you know, walking around the bedroom, showing myself to them? You could say to get attention of an adult to whatever, but again, I wouldn't do that. I know me being me. Why would I do that? And Judy Kay kind of described it as mediums, again, because their quote unquote vibration level is higher and they have this ability that they're a beacon to spirits, and that the spirit, according to Judy, doesn't know where they see the beacon,
Okay.
but they don't know where the beacon is going to lead to. So in her description, here the spirit, I'm John's spirit, and I'm headed towards this beacon, and here I am. Okay, anybody around? Oh crap, here's poor little Billy. You know,
but that's what you've got.
So. And I'm going to try to be nice to little Billy, and I'm going to scare the crap out of little Billy because I'm there walking around going, hey, you know. So I get that on some level, and I think it's the same with mediums. I think mediums and sensitives, if they're have that type of ability, maybe they are the open channel all the time, or they can open and close it or whatever. And spirits recognize that and gravitate towards those type of people.
And the bottom line is, if that's the beacon and that's the beacon you're given and you're looking for that lifeline, you're going to grab onto it.
I don't know, man. I'm not kids.
But that's how you think. You're thinking in a logical term.
If I was desperate, yeah, and I'm like
no other channels
passing through the afterlife, and I'm looking. It's kind of like that Monsters Inc. movie.
Yeah.
When they open the door and like there's a poor little kid there. And
oh man.
So I get that, and I just, you know, I don't know if I was a little kid, I'd be like, oh crap, how do I get back out of here, you know?
And maybe you don't have another a choice to go to another
That's
light.
true too.
That might be the only beacon that you've been given.
That's
and
true.
Were you going to take a chance of stepping back out and not getting any beacon?
That's like before we go here, we're Thursday we're going to be doing something with Robert and Sandra from Beerfort, and it's a place that it's actually a factory or a company that they're having activities. So we're going to kind of go with them and check out the place. And it's one of those things where the building itself isn't that old, but there's a cemetery not far from it. Other things are kind of happened in the area, in the town. So again, people have that theory of the spirits travel. Do they go from one location a mile away and head through the town?
Or maybe
going through different areas.
Tied to the land, right?
Yeah, who knows? So that should be kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to that because, again, Robert and Sandra are really good at what they do, and they have every gadget known to man. So that should be fun. Anyway, like I said, if you want to come to Caldwell Parsonage, September 22nd, it's a Friday night, 9:30 to 11:30. Those tickets are available. New Jersey Paranormal at yahoo.com. Sterling Hill Mine, which is one of my favorite places on earth. September 16th, that's a 7:00 start, 7 to 11. Those tickets are still available. There's probably like a quarter of those tickets left. And once the fall starts, it'll be a whole lot of fun. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll wrap up the whole Centenary University thing probably Sunday or Monday, either one. But thanks for watching. Have a good night.
Stay safe. Please be healthy and please be kind. It's important.
Night, guys.
Good night.